Steve, the unexpected retirement of Senator Debbie Stabenow puts Michigan in about a once in a quarter century position, an open Senate seat, no incumbent running in 2024. It's going to be a free-for-all, isn't it? I mean, everybody in Michigan who's ever had the ambition to be a senator, I mean, this is their opportunity.
Well, the problem is if you have any idea in your head that this is what you want to do, you got to jump because it may not come up again when you have the chance. That's right. I mean, first we should note that Debbie Stabenow has had this extraordinary career in the Senate, first woman elected from the state of Michigan. Last time a Republican, she unseated the last Republican to hold that seat. We're going to miss her. We have a lot of names to go through thinking about the replacement, but I think Elissa Slotkin on the Democratic side starts with maybe the most advantage, right? Somebody who just won in probably the toughest congressional district, at least in the Midwest, if not the country, has a lot of money and gets R and I votes. She can appeal to voters who are not part of her party.
But she's got some issues in her own party. You know, the progressives aren't crazy about her. And I heard someone say this week, well, we don't need another Joe Manchin Democrat. We don't need a Kristen Sinema in there, another one. And so she starts with some troubles there. And right now she's getting a lot of attention because, you know, she's expressed some interest. But you throw Jocelyn Benson in, the Secretary of State. How does that change the dynamic? A Dan Kildee, a Debbie Dingell. A lot of names on the Democratic side. Some we probably haven't even thought about yet.
Darlene Gilchrist, I think, is another person who
progressives
should be in the mix.
would love him. And so I think it'll be a crowded primary field unless, you know, the interests that control the Democratic Party decide they don't want a crowded field. It's the Republican side has fewer names at this point.
Well, part of the problem is that Republicans have not won a Senate race here since 1994. That will be 30 years when we have this election in 2024. Statewide has been a problem for Republicans for a long time.
Well, I mean, until just recently, they held most of the statewide offices. But you're right, Senate's been a tough one since Spencer Abraham lost that seat. But you know, you may see Ronna Romney McDaniels come back and make a bid. John James may decide, well, gosh, I've served in Congress long enough.
Run for a third time for Senate?
I think that would be a mistake, by the way. But there's not so many names. I think that will change. I think you'll see people on the Republican side come out of the business community to make a bid.
And Peter Meyer, I think, over in Grand Rapids. I mean, somebody who, again, has that appeal or potential appeal across the party divide.
If he can get through a Republican
If he can get through the primary.
But I think this will start to come into focus a little more. People have only had a week or two to weigh this. Hey, you and I may get in the race. You can never tell.
That's right. Everybody is a possible candidate.
And that's the truth right now. There is no clear person in any party who can say, I've got this, because, you know, there's been so many people waiting for this chance.
You know, and it also really depends on the national climate at that time, right? If Democrats go into 2024 with a stronger economy than they had in 2022, depending on who's at the top of the ticket, it may be even harder for Republicans, but it's entirely possible that Republicans will be expecting a big wave in 2024.
Yeah,
things
aren't
better.
I mean, if the economy goes in the tank, if Joe Biden remains unpopular, and
you have no idea,
and he's at the top of the ticket, and if Trump's on the ticket, it changes that dynamic of, you know, who he might hurt or carry in, depending on where what the mood of the country is. It's very early yet. I mean, that's almost 2 years out.
Right.
I think it'll shape out over the summer.
It's not so early though, because of the money that it takes. You're talking about $100 million to raise. One of the interesting things I talked to Debbie Stabenow about was that she raised an awful lot of money last year, more than $1 million. That was money that, you know, she was raising for the seat. You know, that's money that I don't know, does that come into the race? Does she put that behind somebody?
Got to go somewhere, right?
It's got to go somewhere.
It can't go to a condo in Traverse City, right?
Not anymore, right?
Hey, but speaking of Traverse City, what about Pete Buttigieg? He moved here for a reason.
I think he could be somebody who's looking at something like that. I mean, he'd have to do a lot in terms of, digging into Michigan and raising his profile.
Right.
But
carpetbaggers have won Senate
But the idea of Stabenow as not just a kingmaker, as the person in the seat, or queenmaker, as the person who has some resources to
So why is she
lend
getting out,
to,
Steve, as we close? Why is she
said
leaving?
it's time for a new generation, but she also said she's got a mother who's aging, and she wants to spend more time with her. She needs more time to do that. I think lots of people are in that position these days, trying to figure out how to care for elderly parents. Work has got to come second.
And this is a 6-year commitment. It's not like you're running for Congress 2 years. Nobody in that...
It'll be 74 in 2024.
And nobody in that age group can look ahead and say, yeah, I can do this another 6 years.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So.
We'll see.
It's going to be a lot of
Makes
interest.
the election much more exciting
right
off the jump. Yeah.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.